Thank you, Professor Sarao. I have been student of Professor Sarao. I have been trained under him, and it's my privilege, and I feel honored and humbled to stand and present whatever little I have explored. So, we just had two very intense papers from Professor Usha Devi and Dr. Ravi. So basically, the approach of science as well as Buddhism. So here is a quote from this was in 1937, and Albert Einstein saying, "Behind the tireless efforts of the investigator, there lurks a stronger, more mysterious drive. It is existence and reality that one wishes to comprehend." So the reality, all the what quantum physicists are trying to explore, or Buddhist philosopher, or any philosopher, they all are trying to explore the reality. Now, from 1934, if you look at this quote, this is from Stephen Hawking. He says, "I don't demand a theory that corresponds to reality because I don't know what it is." So, from this 1934 to this was published in this book, The Nature of Space and Time, in 1996. Now, why Stephen Hawking has given up the exploration about reality? We just saw in Professor Usha Devi's paper, there are several inconsistencies within the theory of quantum physics, and there are innumerable theories. And none till date we don't have any perfect explanation of the reality. So at present, majority of scientists, they have given up this to explore the nature of reality. So, and there is a stark contrast between the approach of science and the approach of religion, or Buddhism, I would say. Here the goal of science is to explore the reality, to exploit it for the benefit of humanity and sometimes for the destruction also. But the approach of Buddhism or religion is something unique. It's about soteriological goal, to benefit oneself and others. So this is a quote from Chatushatak by R.A. Dev. He is saying that "Asmin alpa punyasya sandehopi na jayati and bhava sandeh matrena jayati jarjarikrita." Actually what he is trying to say that this, when you explore the reality, the bhava, the phenomenal world, if you start questioning it, it's jayati, it will shatter the whole samsara into pieces. You can read the translation. And more importantly, he is saying that only those who have less merit, alpa punya, जिनमें अल्प पुण्य है, उनको संदेह नहीं होगा. But those who are punya, those who are more meritorious people, they'll always question this reality. And through this inquiry only, we can with the emancipation or nirvana, or that can be achieved. So this is there is immense importance of true reasoning and inquiry of reality within the Buddhist system. Now, what I'm going to present here, just I haven't been a student of physics as such, so you may find some parallels between what physicists are saying and what Buddhist philosophy explores about the reality. So if you see here the jarjari, the shattering of samsara, this one you can relate it to somewhat what is called decoherence. So decoherence, basically what when observer or this instrument is introduced to a quantum state, then when you find the exact position of that particle there, this wave function collapses, and there are innumerable probabilities to find that particle, but why a particular position is found? So this is the question which has yet to be solved. Or, for example, in Schrodinger's cat, whether the cat will be alive or dead, or 90% dead, or 70%, there are innumerable possibilities. But what makes that cat, when the observer is looking at the cat, what makes that cat to be in that state, that particular state, that fixed state, what physicists call the transition from quantum state to mechanical state. So here, this is a quote from Moola Madhyamik Karika, and here Arya Nagarjuna. Earlier I mentioned the quote, it was from Arya Dev. He came from all the way to Sri Lanka to study from Arya Nagarjuna, was his guru. Around 1st, 2nd century AD, they were existent. So Nagarjuna is saying, Karma Klesha Shayan Moksha. I'm just reading the Sanskrit verses so that original thoughts were written and in these languages. So just as a respect to those great masters. So he's saying Karma Klesha Shayan Moksha, Karma Klesha Vikalpa. This Vikalp term is very important. And then he's saying Te prapanchat prapanchastu shunyatayam niruchyate. These two words, vikalp. V is a prefix and kalpa means something kalpana, to imagination, thought constructs. And V is something vishesh, something special. So special thought constructs, that results into prapanch. Panch is 5, panch, and pra is again upasarga prefix there. So these 5 senses, they make this all elaborations. And that is generated through vikalp, special thought constructs that is creating this epistemological reality. Now this thought construct, there is this is direct from the sutra. It is Upali Paripreksha Sutra. Upali was a barber of Buddha, and he also became the first Vinaya, the first holder of the Vinaya Pitaka. So these in ancient India, these discussions were very much existent, not just amongst the philosopher or special ones or professors, but also the commoners. So Pali asked a question, and then Buddha is saying, the various delightful flowers blossom and sparkling, supreme golden abode stand alluringly. There is no creator. They are posited by the power of thoughts. Through the power of conceptualization, the word is imputed. So what the word you are seeing, it's all through power of conceptualization. We just said vikalpa. So that is what is being projected there. And later on, scholars like philosophers like Arya Nagarjuna and they all developed this theory based on that. Arya Nagarjuna is saying that since there is no phenomena which is not dependently originated, now this dependent origination, this is a very profound word and has very nuances I'll just discuss. So he's saying whatever phenomena, whether it's a subjective or objective phenomena we are seeing, it's all dependently originated. So this word is pratyatya samutpad in Sanskrit. This dependent origination. Now this comes, I'm just giving you some etymological meaning of this, and I suppose many of us are aware of little Hindi and Sanskrit. So it's a prati. Prati is there is term pratyaksh, prati aksh, matlab aankh ke saamne, aksh prati. So prati means something in front, and tya is a pratyaya which makes something into motion. So pratyaya and sam together, samvay, sammelan. So all these sum means together, and utpad. So just in morning session, Professor Goswami was mentioning about this utpad word, which he translated as a production, which is very appropriate translation. But utpad also has a further etymological ut and pat. So ut means something produced and pat means girna, patan. So something produced and vanished. So there is a Pali saying upajitva nirvichanti. The moment it is produced, it is disintegrated. So this utpad, this is explained by Bhavi Vivekananda, another Nalanda master. So what pratyatya samutpad, this is the one of the fundamental concepts on which the whole Buddhist philosophy or whole Buddhist thought process has been developed. So pratyatya samutpad, from etymological derivation, you can see the interdependent production set into constant motion. So all phenomena, whatever, if it is dependently originated, it is something interdependent and constant in motion, especially when two subject and object, the phenomenal reality and the epistemological and ontological reality, when they are in combination, this interaction is happening, and through that things are producing, and also some utpat. So the moment it is being produced, it is also being disintegrated. So this is generally it is translated as a dependent origination, but I am not so happy with this translation, because origination has a connotation of absolutism, which is not accepted in all Buddhist system. So interdependent production, something like that, which is translated as dependent origin. And what this is from the Prasanna Pad, a commentary on Mula Madhyamika Kariga, the Acharya Chandrakirti of 7th century Nalanda master. He discusses this in his text. So this is the Sanskrit version, which I gave just a summary. Now the same Acharya Chandrakirti, in another text called Madhyamaka Avatar, he is giving the reason of creation of the whole phenomenal world. So he is saying Sattvam Lokam Bhajanam Lokam. Bhajan means something patra, the container. And Sattva is a sentient being. So the loop of a sentient being and is a container word. So it's a species specific word. It's not something, the way human being, we have a certain limitation because of sense organs. So the reality which we see, it's a species specific. For example, butterfly could see more colors than us. And we cannot imagine the colors beyond that, but there are species. So we live in a species-specific world. So this species-specific word is container word. So it's a container. What he means that there is externality. It's not something the way. And the mind is that creates this utter drawing. So there is a kind of utter chittam eva rachete ati chitram. Karamajam. So now he is giving this. So the karma produces the phenomenal world. And when the karmic mind is vanished, there is neither karma nor the world. So here what is explaining that interdependence of this subjective and objective phenomena, and the basis of which the karmic propensities. So another, the continuation of that same verse, although matter exists and it has no intrinsic status like that of mind as an agent, it is any other agent besides the mind that is negated. So besides mind, any other agent, whether it's a material, the prakriti, or whether it's a god, all things are negated beside the mind. And it is not the case. So the production of matter is posited to be the mind. So this is the verse number 70 is saying, and he's giving another example for this. As he mentioned, this species specific word. So one of the sutras, of course, it's debatable, but one of the not sutra, actually it's Abhisamaya written by R.M. Maitre. So it says that species like a ghost being, they don't see the water as a water, they see as a flow stream of a pus, and so and devas and devis and godly beings, they see it as a nectar. So all these are species specific. So from objective side, there is no ontological status of the reality, but it is the karmic propensity which is causing that sort of manifestation. And he's also saying that grahyam vinana grahakata vyuktam. So without the grahak, the perceiver, and there is no the grahya, the objective reality. So again, the interdependency is there. And now, apart from Sutra and Shastra, the original saying of Buddha and further commentaries, in Tantra also this concept comes. Generally, it is believed that the Tantra only is about Mambo Jambo Vishayasi thing. But this is a direct Tantra, not an explanatory or any commentary. Hevajra Tantra has this. It says Srikaram Advaya Jnanam, Hekaram Hetpadishunita, Rukaram Apyatavyo. So actually there is a tantric deity with 4 faces. So all these 4 faces represent Sri, He, Rupa, 4 faces. And the Sri is non-dual gnosis. So objective and subjective duality that combined together is Sri. He is the causal emptiness of phenomena. And the mind produces all phenomena, which is being posited. Ru is the conceptual web that separates the notion of self. And Ka is the absence of subjective-objective dissonance. So this is from the Tantra, Buddhist Tantra, Vajra Tantra. So it's also the continuation of that same Pratyutya Samutpad. So Pratyutya Samutpad, that means Sarva Dharma Shunyata, emptiness of all phenomena, absence of any intrinsicality in that phenomena. So which means there is no self, no intrinsic self as such. And this concept, especially in Mahayana, when this concept was developed, there was tremendous shift in the approach. And Nagarjuna, he something very revolutionary statement he makes in Mule Madhyamik Karika, where he says that the Nirvana se yakoti sa koti samsarana. What is the category of Nirvana is the category of samsara. So he's equating the Nirvana and samsara. There is not even a finest gap to be found between the two. So ontological reality itself, the pre-created reality, that itself becomes, if you see the absence of subjective-objective dissonance, so that itself becomes the Nirvana category. So this is something very unique and not so easily comprehensible amongst Buddhist schools also. But what the meaning is there. Yes, I'm concluding. That this is from Bodhisattva Shantideva, another Madhyamika follower, comes into around 8th century from Nalanda. He is saying that Sattva Kshetram Jinam Kshetram. So the samsara and nirvana, so the Sattva Kshetra, the samsara, the sentient beings realm, and Jina Kshetra, the field of Buddha or nirvana, they both are same. Sattva Kshetram Jinam Kshetra. And Ityena Munina Uditam, that Muni is the term for Buddha. So this was said by Buddha, he is putting some sutra there. And then Etena Aradhyena. So by worshipping of just the sentient being, Sattva Kshetra, Bahva Paramogata, many have transcended and achieved nirvana. So what which is that this reality what we are seeing, it's just extension of our own. I remember Professor Christopher Fuchs, one of the top quantum physicists. I had a very good interaction with him, and he showed that the quantum physicists, the apparatus and the thing which they are operating, they all start merging. The observer and the observed reality. So something you can find, I found some parallels that this Sattva Kshetra and Jina Kshetra, they both have no dissonance between subject and object. So this gives immense importance to have a respect for the sentient world, the conventional reality, because the reality which I see, or if I harm someone, or if I harm environment itself, it's not the objective or something separate from me which is I'm doing some harm. It's extension of my own being. So that is what it is. So therefore, this is the concluding slide. So therefore, this is concluding in concluding chapter of Bodhicharya Avatar Bodhisattva Shanti. He says that this is an aspiration, Bodhisattva vow aspiration, that for as long as space endures, for as long as sentient being remain, until then may I do remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, PRANSHU. Some of the time has been taken by the transition period from one speaker to another speaker, but we will have maybe 2 or 3 questions, and then you can continue our discussion. I'm very sure the speakers will be available in that time. So, any questions? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I choose the topic decoherence. I have the following question in my mind. The question is that there are 2 levels of reality to consider. There is quantum reality and classical reality. And physicists are trying to get a logical way from one reality to others. So our question is there any that kind of logical procedure exists in philosophy, even in Buddhist philosophy?
This question is that.
Yeah.
So, when seen from a physicist perspective, a Buddhist philosopher would say that when this coming to decoherence, the transition which is happening from quantum state to classical state, the specific state of that particular classical state of reality, observed reality, is coming because of the karmic propensities from the observed.
But what is karmic propensity?
The role consciousness which is playing a role in a form of karmic propensity to create that reality. So in a way, it's a consciousness.
No, but you know, in physics, when you say decoherence or correspondence principle, we don't use consciousness as such.
Yes.
In formalism, nobody has been able to include how consciousness or attention can be included in the equation.
Precisely.
Or is there any scope in quantum theory which can encompass these things?
Precisely. So that is why there is no such final theory in quantum physics.
Not final theory. I am asking whether there is a logical procedure which can be understood. Final theory, you or me cannot say that this is final theory.
Yes. So what I mean to say that this is where I don't say that okay, this is the Buddhist philosophy would answer solve this quantum problem.
We are not asking whether there exists any logical procedure.
It's their own procedure, own system of logic and debate through that.